Welcome to the Home Shopping Network. I'm Alex. It has been a challenging week. You see, in my never-ending quest to pump effort and time and money into these videos for absolutely no return, I recorded this video 3 separate times. Due to some technical difficulties, I lost all the previous footage from my other shoots. Brutal. Look, I deserve this. So this is my first installment of a 2-part series on law enforcement, the judicial system, and how they relate to riding a motorcycle. Today's video is about avoiding unnecessary interactions with law enforcement officers, or LEOs as they're commonly shorthanded to. And by unnecessary, I'm talking about when you're riding your bike, minding your own business, when suddenly, for absolutely no discernible reason, there's a cop car behind you with lights flashing telling you to pull over. What's the deal with that? I'm going to discuss this topic in a way that might upset some people with a certain value system or upbringing. And I'm just like any other SJW cuck. I don't want to make anybody upset who might find this discussion disturbing. So before we get too far, I think it's important to provide a few trigger warnings. You might find this video triggering if any of the following are true. You've never exceeded a posted speed limit or disobeyed a traffic signal or street sign. You've unironically used the phrase, "Blue Lives Matter." You found yourself in the past agreeing with many of the political views of authoritarian leaders. If anything I just described is triggering for you or makes you feel upset, or maybe you're frothing at the mouth right now in anger, that's okay. Check out one of my other videos and come back. We can still be friends. Finally, before we talk shop, I don't endorse or recommend that anybody break any laws ever. You should research and understand traffic laws in your area before attempting to do anything I recommend. The case for avoiding LEOs, besides the obvious of not getting a citation. Personally, I never want to give a LEO probable cause to pull me over. The real reason is simple and sad. People die in this country for broken taillight traffic stops. I'm not saying that all LEOs are bad. Because of crazy stuff like Eric Gardner, Tamir Rice, Philando Castile, et al., I'm not really interested in stopping to have a little chat with LEOs if I can avoid it.
Hey, listen, you ever see one of these here up close?
Although, I'm white, so I'd probably be fine. Easy stuff. Alright, first off, let's talk about the easily correctable stuff that a LEO might stop you for in order to give you a talk and maybe issue a small citation. Make sure your brake lights are functional. Luckily, most bikes use brake lights with a series of LEDs, so you can have a few go out before it becomes a real problem. If you've only got one light and it gets busted, you can always use that ghetto red tape to cover it up and keep it legal. Ensure your blinkers are functional and use them. If they don't work, learn to use hand signals. No, not those hand signals. Yeah, those ones. They're not hard. Be aware when your registration tags expire. You might get away with it for a month or 2, but it's easy to correct as most states allow you to renew them online. In some states like Washington, they backdate, so you don't even get the difference in time between when it expired and when you renewed. So there's no reason to wait. Be careful with how clever you get with mounting your license plate. Each state has slightly different expectations for visibility. Nothing sucks more than buying a fender eliminator only to get pulled over a week later and have to put your garbage back on after they issue a citation. Check your 6 for LEOs when you get on new streets or when you stop at traffic lights. You never know when a LEO might suddenly be right behind you and you want to change your riding style. Driving while intoxicated. I've got a terrible story of being fast friends with somebody we met on the Alaska State Highway. We're swerving and ripping through traffic, going back and forth, wheelies, the whole 9. Then he had a couple of close calls, like really close calls, and I started to get uncomfortable riding with him. He motions for us to pull off to an off-ramp. When we pull over, he pulls his helmet off and he's drooling and snotting and slurring his words. It was terrible, and the penalties for getting a Dewey are absolutely no joke. Don't do it. So that covers the easy stuff that a LEO might use to get you over the side of the road for basically no reason. Spotting LEO fishing holes. Next, let's talk about common locations where fishermen might post up to during times of intermittent traffic. Generally, these are going to be speed traps or places where another law is commonly broken, such as people using the HOV lane who don't qualify, or maybe a no U-turn section that's commonly ignored. Be wary on any road with a shoulder, but especially highways. LEOs really love shoulders on highways and back roads. It's easy for them to see people driving in an intriguing way over long distances. On top of overpasses. Posting up on top of an overpass and looking down on a highway is another way to get great line of sight. Generally, these are going to be overpasses outside of dense urban areas, where you can sit for long periods of time and not really impede traffic. Underneath overpasses. Leos love to hide in the shadows, like Batman, but for minor traffic citations. Off-ramps. Posting up on an off-ramp that has a little bit of vertical height gives them an opportunity to gun you, then pull you over on the other side. A combination of on and off ramps. I've seen this in a handful of locations with particularly aware drivers that have wised up to the common tactics of Leos. To achieve additional stealthiness, multiple Leos will work in tandem. They'll find an overpass or some sort of interchange, and then they'll post up on opposite sides of the off ramp. Then once one gets a bite, they'll call the other Leo to pull the vehicle over. Then you gotta wait 3 minutes for the other one to show up.
Now this spine crawler makes it scary because that means I might not actually have a big advantage here.
Finally, let's go over some easy riding tactics that you can use to counter some of these Leo strategies. I've espoused lane shading and lane positioning in multiple videos. Generally, you're going to use it to give yourself better options in emergency situations and give yourself better visibility. But we can also use it to break line of sight from these common Leo post-up locations. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're on a 3-lane highway that's mostly clear, and you're going slightly faster than the flow of traffic. Using your lane positioning to put another vehicle in front of you between you and the common Leo post-up location can prevent them from noticing you until you're well past their fishing hole. Following the traffic rule of staying right except to pass is also helpful for this. Nothing sticks out more than a motorcycle in the far left lane with nothing else around it. Be on the lookout when on open roads and straightaways with little to no traffic. On the other extreme, watch out for blind turns where it gives Leos an opportunity to sneak attack when you least expect it.
Stop trying to confuse me. You know Spellman's in Atlanta too. Second of all, you know I'm vacillating here trying to...
This is by no means an all-inclusive list of every tactic that Leos have, but it covers the most common strategies I've seen consistently. And it should give you some tools in order to avoid all but the craftiest fishermen. Tune in for part 2, where I'll talk about what you might want to do if you get tagged and bagged. I'll be detailing some lessons that I learned from what I colloquially call my summer of questionable decisions, in which I had to beat multiple tickets in order to maintain my license.
Feedback? Question mark?
Obviously, I changed my setup a bit from my previous videos. Let me know if you prefer this camera or the GoPro camera, the weird fisheye thing. I don't really think it was that great, so that's why I'm trying something else out. Also, let me know if there's other dumb audio-video equipment I should spend money on to make these better. Well, if you don't hate me by this point, then you should like this video and subscribe if you haven't. And tell some Russian hackers to create a bunch of fake accounts and subscribe to my channel and like all my videos. Until next time, ride fast, take chances. Kitten, what are you doing? Oh, big dude. Oh, oh my God, there's so much poop in you.